Hi guys, it's Doris with Aldi Books, and I need to be quick about this. I have 15 minutes before I have to leave for work, and I still have to wake the kid up. I'm outside on my front porch as the neighbors also get ready for work, so there might be that. Anyway, before we get started with my Friday reads, I wanted to show you my new t-shirt. Oh, it's so cool. Yay! It's Pride and Prejudice in literary cat form. Oh! So yeah, these are from Spinster's library. I will link her video advertisement below if you haven't seen it yet. It is so funny and adorable, and the shirts are fabulous. My son got the Frankenstein version, and Eric Carl Anderson got Oscar Wilde. So yeah, if you're interested in cats and books and t-shirts, you need to order one right away. You'll be in great company. Anyway, jumping right into the Friday reads, because I think I have, how many? I have 14 minutes now. I am in a reading slump. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Slump's probably too drastic a word. But yeah, I haven't been feeling like picking up books, and it's just a cycle. I read so many last month that I usually take a break at the beginning of each month, but this break is half the month already. But yeah, I read so many last month, and then I read one at the beginning of this month that I loved so much that I just was like, nothing else was that book, you know? And I also haven't had chips or Coke all week, and I think, you know, that's taken away some of my happiness. So I can't eat chips or drink Coke. Why do anything else? No, I kid, sort of. Anyway, today's my cheat day, so. The celiac diagnosis, you know, all those people that think that you would lose weight if you couldn't eat any dairy, baked goods, they'd be wrong. Anyway, I'm rambling, and I only have 12 minutes now, so yeah, but I don't have many books to talk about, do I? Anyway, I was buddy reading Vera with Bree and Kate, and I bailed on it. I did. I can't even believe it. I adored Elizabeth von Arnim's other books. I've read Enchanted April and the Elizabeth and Her German Garden, and they were so charming. Highly recommend if you are into that scene. Look them up on Goodreads. But this one is the one that's different from the rest. This is a bit of a gothic vibe to it, and I was not feeling it. I just started it, and it was very repetitive to build tension, and I felt like the plot was going to be entirely based on what do you call those, an unreliable character. And so yeah, it's not typically my genre anyway. I don't always like mysteries, so yeah, I just had to bail. And I did peek at the end and see, and I felt okay with my failure. Is that a word? Failure? Is that a word, Sean? Failure? It should be. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh, so next up is the book I adored. Oh my goodness, you guys. Himself by Jess Kidd. I bought it because there's a bee on the cover. I'm so glad I did. I adore this book. This book's gonna creep into my top 10 of all time. I need to reevaluate that, but it's got a good chance of being there. Oh, it was just a delightful story from beginning to end. So satisfying. It's set in a little village in Ireland, and The opening chapter is very, very magical realism-esque. I mean, not even esque, it is magical realism. So there's that. I know some people don't like it, but it's a man killing a young woman, a girl really, who has, I mean, I don't think she's even 14. She might be 15, but she's very young woman, who has just given birth to a child out of wedlock. And the baby's, you know, there as well. And yeah, he does kill her. And the baby is saved by the forest. So that's the magical realism portion. But then flash forward to the time that the story is set, which is in the mid-70s. So the earlier portions are in the 50s, and it flashes back to that. But the modern timeline is in the mid-70s. And you've got this child who's been raised by a Catholic foster care system in a bigger city, finding out where he's from and returning there to try to figure out what happened to his mother. And he sees ghosts. So that's also magical realism. However, I think that if you don't like magical realism, you could deal with it, because it's not treated as magical realism exactly. They're just characters. They're just characters that only he can interact with. So this story, I mean, I loved the main character. I loved the women in this story. So well written. And there's a lot of depth to these characters. They're not all making the right choices all the time. So I will say that there probably is one too many literary farts in this book. But you know, guys, I've said before, I am here for that. You know, middle school boy humor is my scene. But other than that, there are also, I mean, I laughed a lot. There are also a couple of really dark scenes in it. One with the abuse of a dog that was really horrific by his owner, and the dog loved him. But that's not a spoiler, it's just a side plot. But anyway, this book is fabulous. I loved it. I'm going to say it again. I loved it. And I listened to it on audio. It is an excellent audiobook. Highly recommend. There is one tiny little bit of magical realism in the end with, you know, magical storm, one of those. I don't know, but even if you don't like magical realism, please try it. Try past the first chapter. I loved it. I loved it so much. Okay, and then basically the rest of the month, I've just not been reading. I did finish another book because I listened to audiobooks in the car to and from work and other things. So I finished When We Left Cuba by Chanel Clayton. This is the second in, I'm thinking it's a trilogy. There are 4 daughters, but I think it's just a trilogy. Anyway, these are set against the turmoil in Cuba. So the first one was when the presidential dictator was overthrown by Fidel Castro's revolution. This one is set during the Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis and Kennedy's assassination. So historically, I found this fascinating because it's just a time period that I just have not read much of, in place that I haven't read much of. So I'm really loving the historical content of this series. And these are romance stories, and this one doesn't follow a typical romance arc. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on, you know, your reading style. I just found the romance itself, like if it had been a standalone romance, meaning set apart from the historical aspects that I found so intriguing, this wouldn't have been satisfying to me. So Anyway, but I really enjoyed it because of the history. So there's that. There's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that read cozy mysteries, I think they read them because partially they kind of have that cozy satisfaction of the way the art goes every time. And romance readers are the same. We like that cozy satisfaction of an arc. Anyway, look it up if you're interested in learning more about Cuba, for sure. You like reading a romance now and then. This one, Brian Aldiss' 3 Types of Solitude, is another in the Faber Stories installments that Sean and I are reading together, and I'm not going to say any more about that except that I can't help laughing. And then let me just run through, what time is it? Oh, we've got 4 minutes. I've already packed lunches though, so ooh, don't go anywhere, guy. You got to go in soon. Okay. So yeah, let me just run through my buddy reads. That I'm a horrible buddy reader this month. I was reading Disorient Soul by Negar Javadi. This I'm reading for Women in Translation Month, and I was reading it with Patrice and Jacqueline from 6 Minutes for Me. They have both finished and loved it, have given glowing reports. I'm not even halfway yet, but this weekend I just started Barbara Kingsolver's Prodigal Summer with Britta Bowler and also Jacqueline again. They are waiting for me and giving me an extra day, so I'm hoping to catch up with this buddy read tonight. And we are reading this one for the Appalachian Prompt for Reading Women challenge. So there's that. Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan. This is the 10th in the Wheel of Time series. I did finish the massive prologue last week, I guess, and haven't touched it since. I don't know where Kate is. I'm reading this one with Kate Howe, but that's a month-long at your own pace project. So I also want to get started on The Light in August by William Faulkner. This one is for a buddy read with, not a buddy read, a read along with Brian from Bookish and Alan. So I've only read The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner, but it's one of my top all-time books. Just brilliant. So looking forward to that. And I did start a new audiobook a couple days, 3 days ago, Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. So these are historical fiction set in China. I forget the time period. It's recent-ish, like the last couple hundred years. Recent-ish. I don't know. But this book made me so angry. I could go on a total rant about it. I did, in fact. I was listening to the foot binding chapter when my son got in the car to go to the gym, and just throughout history and even in modern times, the things women will do for men and the things women will do to their children for men. What? This book made me so angry. It was really good writing. It's not the book or the author, it's the topic. Ugh. Anyway, that's what I have today. Send me some good reading vibes. I gotta get the cats in the house and wake the kid up and go to work. But it's Friday. Thanks for watching, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.